12 surprising flightless birds. Over the course of time, there have been many birds that decided to give up flight and stick to the ground. Unfortunately, the result for many of these species was being wiped out, as they became easy pickings for humans and the animals that traveled with them, such as dogs, cats, and rats. Their ground-dwelling lives are possible because they live in areas still free of predators or, in the case of some, have had human support. Here are 12 of the most unusual flightless birds found around the world. Number 12. Kakapo. The kakapo is a parrot species from New Zealand that stands out in several ways. First, it is the world's only flightless parrot. It is also nocturnal, which is a unique trait among parrot species. It is the heaviest parrot species in the world, which is appropriate considering it does not have to stay light for taking flight. In 2019, there were just 213 kakapos alive on the planet. But with that number steadily increasing, there is hope that this unique and charismatic species can survive. Number 11. Kiwi. The kiwi is a famously flightless bird. It always encourages a double take because of its small round body, feathers that look like fur, and unassuming whiskered face. So well loved is the kiwi that it is the national symbol of New Zealand. Kiwis have been flightless for so long that their vestigial wings are barely visible among their fluffy feathers. They also lay the largest eggs relative to body size of any bird in the world. Number 10. Flightless cormorant. The Galapagos Islands are home to many species that evolved with peculiar traits, including a wide array of unique bird species. One of these is the world's only cormorant that cannot fly, aptly named the flightless cormorant. The flightless cormorant is one of the rarest birds in the world, partly because it is found only on 2 islands in the Galapagos. However, it is also susceptible to harm by storms and has been introduced to predators, so the species is listed as vulnerable. Conservation efforts are important to its continued survival. Number 9. Tasmanian native hen. This appropriately named chicken-like bird is endemic to Tasmania. The Tasmanian native hen is an unusual species of flightless bird. Unlike so many species that have gone extinct or declined with the arrival of humans, it has actually thrived alongside its new also flightless counterparts. The Tasmanian native hen lives in small flocks of a few individuals and sticks to clear territories of about 5 acres. Because these birds keep their own territories, fights can break out at borders when intruders press in on someone else's turf. Number 8. Takahe. Somewhat of a cross between the colors of the cassowary and the body of the native hen is the takahe, a species found in New Zealand. This bird was thought to be extinct for almost 50 years, but it was rediscovered after an extensive search in 1948. There are still individuals in its home range, and more have been relocated to nearby predator-free islands. Still, it is considered critically endangered with fewer than 400 individuals. The take is a fairly large bird for a rail, about the size of a small turkey. Number 7. Fuegian steamer duck. There are 4 species of steamer duck, 3 of which are flightless. One of them, the Fuegian steamer duck, can be found in South America along the rocky shores from southern Chile to Tierra del Fuego. The steamer duck species get their name from the way they swim when they really get to moving quickly. They flap their wings while paddling with their feet and end up looking a bit like a paddle steamer. Number 6. Inaccessible island rail. The inaccessible island rail is the smallest flightless bird in the world, and it is found only on its namesake, predator-free island in the Tristan archipelago. On their private island paradise, the birds enjoy roaming the grasslands and open fern brush looking for insects, worms, and seeds to feast upon. Though living in such a remote location helps these birds stay safe, such a minimal range means the species is listed as vulnerable. Should, one day, predators or a species that would compete for food be introduced to the island, the little rail would be in grave danger. Number 5. Campbell teal. The Campbell teal is one of 2 species of flightless teal. These little dabbling ducks are nocturnal, coming out at night to feed on insects and amphipods. They were once found on Campbell Island, their namesake, but were driven to extinction there after Norway rats found their way to the land. After a population was discovered on another island, the species was listed as critically endangered and conservationists worked for decades to create a successful captive breeding program. Number 4. Titicaca grebe. Grebes are adorable birds, but this particular species takes the prize. The Titicaca flightless grebe, also known as the short-winged grebe, is found in Peru and Bolivia. It lives primarily on its namesake, Lake Titicaca, but can also be found in several surrounding lakes. Though it cannot fly, the Titicaca grebe can swim expertly. It catches mostly small pupfish as prey, unlike many other flightless bird species that have been threatened by introduced predators. The Titicaca grebe is threatened because of the use of gill nets by fishermen. Number 3. Guam rail. The Guam rail was once abundant on the island of Guam, but in the 1960s, a population of accidentally introduced brown tree snakes took hold of the island. These birds nest on the ground, which, combined with their inability to escape via flight, meant that they didn't stand a chance against the new predators. By the 1980s, they were extinct in the wild. The species can still be seen today, though, thanks to zoologist Bob Beck, who worked for more than 20 years on capturing the last of the wild Guam rails, creating captive breeding programs in zoos, and releasing Guam rails on nearby islands. Number 2. Cassowary. This animal may look like a rendering of a prehistoric dinosaur evolving into a bird, but it's actually a modern species, the cassowary. There are 3 species of cassowary: the southern cassowary, the northern cassowary, and the dwarf cassowary, all of which are native to New Guinea and Australia. The cassowary is the second heaviest bird in the world, behind only the ostrich. It has claws on its toes that can grow to 4 inches long, and it can run as fast as 31 miles per hour. Plus, because the bird is flightless, it has extra strong, well-developed legs, which makes for powerful kicks. All of this means that although the cassowary cannot fly, it is still tough enough to fight off predators. That said, only those cassowaries habituated to humans are actually prone to attack. Number 1. Weka. Rails are usually known for being shy, but not this particular species. According to the Department of Conservation in New Zealand, the weka has a famously feisty and curious personality. Like other secretive rail species, the weka is more often heard than seen. They are known for thieving food and other small objects and running off to a hiding place to explore them, much like raccoons. So if something small goes missing from your campsite or home, it may very well be this flightless bird that snatched it. The weka is listed as vulnerable due to a variety of threats coming from different angles. These include drought, car strikes along roads, and pest control operations that use traps and bait on the ground.